In 202 BCE, the vast plains of North Africa bore witness to a confrontation that would forever alter the course of history. The Battle of Zama marked the end of a nearly two-decade-long struggle between Rome and Carthage, two of the ancient world's greatest powers. It was a battle of wits, strategy, and survival, with two legendary military leaders, Scipio Africanus and Hannibal Barca, clashing in a final bid for supremacy. For years, Hannibal Barca had been the scourge of Rome. His daring invasion of Italy and his series of brilliant victories, particularly at Cannae, had brought the Roman Republic to its knees. The name Hannibal struck fear into the heart of every Roman. He was a man who had crossed the Alps with an army, including war elephants, and seemed unstoppable as he crushed Roman legions one after another. His tactical genius was unmatched, and his army of veterans, seasoned by years of combat, appeared invincible. But despite his triumphs, he could not bring Rome itself to submit. Instead, Rome, relentless and determined, refused to bow. The Roman Senate, seeing that direct confrontation was not yielding results, adopted a new approach: strategic patience. While Hannibal's army roamed Italy, the Romans, under the guidance of generals like Fabius Maximus, avoided large-scale battles. They starved Hannibal's forces of supplies while gradually turning the tide elsewhere. Carthage, meanwhile, failed to send reinforcements to Hannibal, leaving him isolated in hostile territory. During this time, Scipio Africanus, a rising star in Rome, had been making a name for himself. His victories in Spain had cut off Carthage's access to crucial resources and allies, weakening their hold on power. Scipio's capture of New Carthage, a key stronghold, was a major blow to Hannibal's cause. But Scipio's boldest move was yet to come. He proposed to take the war directly to Carthage, forcing Hannibal to abandon Italy and defend his homeland. By 204 BCE, Scipio had landed in North Africa, quickly gaining the upper hand. His victories in battles like the Great Plains further weakened Carthage's position, leaving them with no choice but to recall Hannibal from Italy. After 16 years of commanding an army in enemy territory, Hannibal returned to face his final challenge. He was tasked with defending Carthage itself, knowing that defeat would spell the end of the Carthaginian Empire. Hannibal, ever the master strategist, assembled a new army from his remaining veterans, mercenaries, and fresh recruits, including war elephants. He knew this was his last chance to stop Rome, but Scipio, equally brilliant, had prepared for the challenge. The two armies met on the plains of Zama, and the fate of the ancient world hung in the balance. As the battle began, Hannibal unleashed his war elephants, hoping they would break through the Roman lines. But Scipio had anticipated this. He ordered his troops to create gaps in their formations, allowing the elephants to charge harmlessly through, while his cavalry and infantry maintained their positions. Many of the elephants, panicked by the noise of Roman trumpets, turned back and trampled Hannibal's own soldiers. With the elephants neutralized, the battle became a brutal contest of infantry and cavalry. Hannibal's mercenaries clashed with the disciplined Roman legions, but the real test came when his battle-hardened veterans from Italy entered the fray. These men had fought alongside Hannibal for years, and their experience showed as they held the Roman advance. For a moment it seemed as though Hannibal might turn the tide. But Scipio had one more advantage up his sleeve: the Numidian cavalry, led by Massinissa, a Roman ally. While the infantry fought on the ground, Massinissa's cavalry swept around the battlefield, engaging and defeating Hannibal's horsemen. When the Numidian cavalry returned to attack the Carthaginian forces from the rear, the outcome was sealed. Hannibal's army, surrounded and outnumbered, began to collapse. Hannibal himself managed to escape, but Carthage's fate was sealed. The Battle of Zama ended with a decisive Roman victory. Carthage was forced to sue for peace, marking the end of the Second Punic War. Rome emerged as the dominant power in the Mediterranean, while Carthage, once a mighty empire, was reduced to a shadow of its former self. The Battle of Zama was more than just a military victory. It was the moment when Rome's destiny as a superpower was cemented. Scipio Africanus, now hailed as one of Rome's greatest generals, had outmaneuvered and outthought the legendary Hannibal. The Roman Republic would go on to build an empire that spanned continents, but the seeds of that future were planted on the plains of Zama, where one final battle reshaped the ancient world forever.